With it being a whole year of Marvel Rivals coming up, I decided to make a list of my top 10 characters I wanted the most for next year. We had 33 starting and now 45 with Rogue coming shortly. Now with that all said and done, I want to share my top 10 characters I want to see in Marvel Rivals next year. I'll also want to give some ideas for costumes ideas, or movesets they could have. Some characters could be for unique gameplay, or because I want to see the character in it, because I'm a big fan of these characters. Now it might not be the most flawless way of explaining, since it's my first top 10 list I've ever done, you know. On the top 10 is Lockjaw. Jeff the Shark is very popular because he's like Terrafin, but if he was a puppy dog, easy idea you can't hate. I think having another character like Jeff would work, and so I choose Lockjaw. I think Lockjaw would be an opponent you want to hug, but have a bite to him. That's the main reason I put him here, with also having the fact he would be an opponent who could clearly teleport in battle. He definitely has to be a vanguard in the game, no doubt about it. Big costumes ideas. Yet I have no idea except season costumes like the Christmas events. With having 1/3 of the newcomers be mutants, I think it would be fitting for this mutant to make it in, that being the one and only Nightcrawler. Now I like Lockjaw, but I want to see this guy make it in Or, because Nightcrawler looks cool, has a cool power and look, and I can see some good potential with him coming to the game. Now I mentioned Lockjaw's teleportation, so what about Nightcrawler's? Well, it's shown in the films he must see where to teleport, and you must physically touch him for it to work, so perhaps he can be a duelist or a strategist in the fight, getting you in the action with if he's a strategist, maybe a boost in power, or maybe they teleport you in the middle of nowhere in which you fall and die. Next up is Doc Ock, which I think he could play the strategist role. Even with the arms being good for defense, I think he can play the supporting role by placing devices down such as something like a power enhancer. And if they make the team up ability with Rocket, what about have it so the power of the sun is in the palm of his hands? Maybe it'll heal them. And of course the arms being the things that can attack like Venom with using 2 or 3 arms to attack with. I can also see him climbing around and moving fast with the arms, so it'll make it easy to get to your team and support them. Now I have some ideas for his costumes, such as his outfit in the second Tobey Maguire film, the PlayStation 4 game, and, heck, if they wanted to, perhaps the Carnage outfit in that weird Spider-Man game in the year 2000s. With Nick Fury, I'd go strategist with him, with having shield allies protecting him and your teammates. I mean, if the killing machine created by Hank Pym can be a strategist, why not Fury?
Scream and your entire staff dies.
I think he'd have to play a lot like Cecil Stedman in the new Invincible vs. game, where he gets his allies and tech to benefit him in the battle. I can see him have a team up ability with Black Widow and possibly Hawkeye as well, if they want to bring that ability from season 0 back. Yet I can see him using a gun as his main attack, just like Bucky, but probably with less damage, but more bullets like a real pistol. Perhaps his final could use the Tesseract as a power source on him, like he would be walking around with it, and powering the rest of the team with it. Now I think Nick Fury struggles more with costume ideas than Dr. Octopus, but I can see his main outfit being more with what he has with the MCU, and having a more comic book look with the old blue outfits, like the Earth's Mightiest Heroes outfit. Now Marco has a load of potential with his sand powers, and his moves he can use against enemies. I think Sandman being a vanguard works perfectly here. He can create walls around like Groot can for your allies, and he could block and return fire on other opponents, like Mr. Fantastic's rubber attack move thing. As for his team up, I think it'll be hard to say who he would. I know he has a relationship to Spider-Man as an enemy or as an ally, depending which version of the story, so I think it'll would be hard, but with the rivals team I doubt they'll disappoint. Now with his ultimate, I can easily see him making the floor just sand in front of enemies, and they find it hard to move around, so it's like a circle of slow sand. Would say quicksand, but that's kinda the opposite point. Costumes ideas, I can't really think of anything. I just think the green top is just simple but great. Heck, I didn't like his character design in Spider-Man 2 because the jacket covered the green top. Now Mystique would be an interesting one. Already one of the first things you think with her is her ability to shapeshift into others. If they're gonna make her, they have to make this spot on. I could see them making a spy situation with her on this one. The Rivals team definitely seemed to take inspiration from other stuff for some of the characters in the game. For example, Blade has Virgil vibe from the final move he has. Wolverine has his hair spike out like it was a Dragon Ball upgrade. So why not take inspiration from the Spy, with only few characters spotting it out like Daredevil or Spider-Man. This should probably be her ultimate move. Like Loki's, just without the power, but it highlights as you're on the enemy team. I see Mystique working as a duelist with this one. I mean, she's good at close-up combat and knows how to use a gun. So probably swap weaponry when fighting others. I think she should have that black leather costume and her X-Men costume for her other outfits, with having the classic white be her main outfit. There's not a lot of flying characters like the Green Goblin. Already I can see some great costume potential. Of course, the main one being the one in green and purple, but others such as the Spider-Man movie design, and maybe even the Hobgoblin design for another variant. Now this might sound weird to say this, but I think the Goblin should be on his feet for the majority of the fight, because I could see the glider be an ultimate tool, used to blow up the place or shoot enemies down. Heck, maybe even give it the blades from the film to use up close. Now pumpkin bombs are of course the main weapons used on the other opponents, so for them be careful, but for you, yeah, you got some fun there. Also, Norman can fight hand-to-hand combat, since he has the Goblin Serum, which gives him enhanced strength. I know I mentioned other Spider-Man villains, and if they make it in, I could see their team-up ability being very sinister. Third one on the list is She-Hulk. Now the difference between her and Banner is that Banner's other side is more stronger, as she's more agile, so focus on a moveset which is more agile. I think she'll work best as a strategist here. Why? Because Hulk was shown to give off a shield, so why not have Jen give off gamma energy to power up the team, with having physical attacks of her own. Now she has to have a team-up ability with her cousin Bruce, such as a longer shield or longer boost to the team. Now I have some ideas for some costumes too for her. Of course, stick with the original purple and white, with other costumes such as the Fantastic Four costume, or alternate with Red She-Hulk, and maybe that outfit from the new Cosmic Invasion game, or the first Contest of Champions outfit. Heck, I can see them making the MCU outfit, and I think they'll improve it, just like the Thor Love and Thunder outfit, which I think looks good for the game but bad for the film. I mean, the outfit he had on before, it looked better in the film. Also, another reason why I would want her in is because I know the team will make her hot. Yeah, I can't lie, She-Hulk is on my top list on hottest Marvel characters, and since they're making almost all characters hot,
excellent argument, approved,
I wouldn't mind her make it in the game. Also, watching that 90s show when Jen was on, she really is a turn on.
You look hunky enough to share.
And I was just wanting to try a good Hulk show. Now for the second one. I'm truly surprised he hasn't made it into the game yet. The number one mutant I want in this game is no doubt Deadpool.
Oh. I'm touching myself tonight.
I mean, he's humorous. He has many weapons, creating many possible ideas for his abilities. And like Jen, he can break the fourth wall. But I mean, he does it much better. Now with many hints with Deadpool being in the game, I am still surprised we don't have him yet. Even at the beginning we got Wolverine's outfit from the film starring the man himself, and a spray that is half complete. Now I can imagine him switching his weapons around. You know, both katanas and his mini SMGs. Now I most want to see what he has to say with the other characters. Of course, the others I mentioned, I want to see what they have to say, mostly from these characters, but I most want to see what Deadpool has in mind. Deadpool has to have some funny out of place lines for this universe. Of course, he'll have to be duelist and have moves that'll be out of left field, so I'll wait to see what he has in mind. But some ideas I have in mind for Marvel Jesus here is some costumes, such as Wade's X-Force costume. Maybe one where he's dressing up poshly, especially with the Hellfire Gala coming next year with an extra Emma Frost skin. and maybe something like a Cable outfit to reference Marvel vs. Capcom 3, with the team up ability being with Wolverine himself. They have to.
They have to.
I mean, how could you not? Now I want to mention some characters I would be happy to see, but I think we might not get them, for a few reasons, like some of the Spider people, such as Miles, Gwen and Miguel. Penny Parker is different enough from Spider-Man to work, so I see why they may have not put those 3 or other Spider people for the job. Taskmaster I see can work, but I feel we would just be getting a fusion of Cap, Blade and Hawkeye. Plus Rogue is coming to the game shortly from now, so a copy ability character probably won't be making it in soon. I think it would be cool to see Carnage, but we had a symbiote season already, so I can't see him being in any time from now. But I mean, Blade wasn't in the vampire season because he was taking a rest. So yeah, anything can happen, we just don't know what. Now I did have others on the list like MODOK, Nova, The Spot, but they didn't make it to the cut for who I want the most in.
I defeated a raccoon! Science!
Final character is one I've wanted since the game came out. Many that I wanted came out in the trailers, and the ones I wanted most also came out as newcomers. But I was so surprised to see this guy not make it in already, that guy being Ghost Rider. Now I know that doesn't just mean it's Johnny Blaze, and for example, Iron Fist in the game isn't Danny Rand, but having this guy not make it in yet is a sin, especially with some unique moves such as the chains to attack with, even possible hooking one on an opponent and him yelling, "Get over here," with pulling the enemy towards you. Now I can't see the penance stare being used here like it was in Marvel vs. Capcom, since it'll be just trying to grab one person and use a one-hit killing move. So I'll probably use the bike to ride around into hit with your chain as Ghost Rider's ultimate, with other costumes being based around the other holders of the Ghost Rider titles, like that cowboy one, or Robbie Reyes, and for another alternate costume being the Cosmic Ghost Rider, with the Punisher being the one to power up the Ghost Rider, maybe giving him blue fire since it'll burns hotter than normal fire. Those were my ideas for some of the characters before we get into the next year for Marvel Rivals. I'm just crossing my fingers for the first 3 the most. That's my bingo card, I guess you could say, for next year. Now I'll be enjoying the events that'll be happening at the end of this week.